Welcome to the Bat Lessons Book Club. I'm Alex,
And I'm Brian.
and we're talking about Absolute Batman number 9. Any spoiler-free thoughts before we jump on in?
This one's about Bane.
It's about Bane. We're back to Nick
And
Dragotta.
I know you love Bane.
I do, yeah. One of the favorites for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have read a fair bit of Batman. I'm not as steeped as I probably should be to be doing like a whole podcast with like multiple video channels about it, but I did read all of Nightfall, Knight's Quest, Knight's End, so I have done the 90s. I have done,
Nice.
the Road to No Man's Land and the No Man's Land and all those. Those are like, events, but not really. They're more just like eras. It's just like all the Batman books that happened in these like 2 years or whatever. And so they have these omnibuses that are like super thick. And it's just really good times. And the Bane stuff in particular, I just love that sort of 90s moment. It's like Tim Drake is like hot, fresh, new at that period. And I'm a big Tim Drake Robin fan.
Nice.
Because like he's the sort of like smart Robin who is like really into tech and figures it all out. And
he's Donatello.
I guess, yeah. And I kind of grew up being techie and computer-y, and so I identified with Tim a little bit. Yeah, so that's the reason I like Bane, is because it's very 90s. Not necessarily because, he's jacked or whatever. And this is a different take.
I thought it was because you were just such a huge fan of Batman and Robin.
Oh, yes. One of my favorite movies. No, it's because I'm really into Nacho Libre. And so
hell yeah.
Or, my steez, but this is very much a setup issue. There's ones where we're having these like really thoughtful emotional beats, and there'll be like multiple storylines going all at once. This really isn't that. It's mostly taking place in the present day. There's like one small cutaway that we start with, and then there's one interstitial later on. The table setting here is there's peace talks in the Middle East. Kahndaq is one of the fictional countries that exists in the DC universe. It's where Black Adam is from. I don't know if you're familiar, if you saw that movie or anything like that.
I have not seen the movie, but I've seen the titles.
There you go. So the 2 fictional Middle Eastern countries, they're brokering peace.
They really set the stage here.
Okay.
It's like these 2 dudes that are like leaders. One's dressed in like a military garb. So, like one's intense and the other guy's like a more like classic politician because he's wearing a suit, and it's like a blue suit, right, or a light gray. And they're like sitting there like, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna have peace. We're gonna heal the land. Everyone's gonna be happy. We're all gonna hug. Everything's awesome. And this one guy's like, your legacy is gonna be peace. And the other guy's like, no. Our legacy is gonna be peace. Like they're laying it on, and they like get to the door, and one of them pulls up his shoe like, whoa, what is this puddle? Blood?
Yeah.
And then door opens and Bane's right there. He's like, sorry for interrupting. Like very like, excuse me, gentlemen.
Yeah. And
then he does this. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. At first I was like kind of confused, and then I understood it. But he was like, I was really happy to hear that you guys were entering into peace talks, but very sad when I heard that they fell apart when one of you killed the other.
Yeah.
And it's like he's threatening them, like he's telling them what he's going to do to them. And then he does. Like he's just like, okay, which of you am I going to kill? And the one guy is like, we can't stand for this. We can't have this. And the other guy like understands immediately. Also, the guy whose like kids just died or something,
holds
and
like
he's like, kill me.
Yeah.
and Bane picks the other guy. He lets the guy who volunteered live, and in a terribly violent manner.
Yeah.
Like full on the mountain in Game of Thrones, like with one hand smashes this guy's head. Like I don't even know if we can show this in our video.
Yeah, I feel like we probably can, but
it's gruesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red.
Yeah, it's definitely Bane himself is so over the top caricature. Like these guys, he's so much bigger and taller. Like, these guys are looking at his belly button, I guess.
Yeah.
His hand is sufficiently large such that he can crush this guy's skull.
Yeah.
This
guy's head's like a softball in his hand or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is kind of wild. Basically then says to the guy, like, you're not going to do peace. you know, you're gonna get out there and you're gonna say they fell
War
apart
is the
and it's
way.
their fault. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he quotes Sargon of Akkad, which I hate, and we're gonna skate past. uh I guess you know, Scott Snyder probably also hates it, and that's why he's putting it in the word in the mouth of his villain. But
Hmm.
and then at the very end, we kind of get this stinger where he picks up the phone and someone's calling and sending him to Gotham. So you definitely get the feeling that like he's the goon, he's the hired gun, like he's doing this
Hmm.
evil stuff, but it's not even he's not the ones pulling the strings. He's the heavy, right?
Yeah. But like that, what a hell of an introduction.
Yeah, it's a cold open for sure. Yeah, and then we get the title page, double page splash.
Can you help me?
Yes,
What are we looking at?
we're looking at an abomination.
Because I
Um,
looked and I looked. I was like, is it a brain? Is
yeah,
it muscles? Like, there's that little white thing under the
yeah.
T. And it's like, are those eyes? What am I looking
I
at?
don't think we're supposed to know what we're looking at. We're looking at
Okay.
organic matter.
Yes.
Yeah,
Totally. Yeah.
it could be that the T, what's beneath the T, is the luchador mask. So you've got the two eyes
That's
and
what
the
I
teeth.
thought.
It's possible, but I think it's intentionally a little bit abstract. It's like, you know, very clearly something is on Venom, right? And it's transformed the body into like this grotesque thing, right?
Yeah.
Which, like, if you remember the like the final page sting in the last Nick Dragotta issue, we argued over whether it was like Joker or not, but there was like a person that was there that was pulling the strings on the phone, and they had like
Hmm.
babies like grafted to their body. It's like a very similar,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I remember. Yeah. Uh huh.
yeah, body horror, like grotesque. Like we've got a
Hmm.
mangle of like organic matter, muscle and blood and flesh.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of like Starship Troopers.
Mhm,
If you
mhm,
ever saw
mhm.
that, like
Yeah,
the big evil monster thing that was like a gigantic tick.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to present day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so the point of view character, the narrator here, is Alfred, and he's talking about how while Alfred's been out of town, which I guess he has been for the last two issues, and I think they alluded to that he was leaving at the end of, you know, when he
Yeah,
was
they did.
patching him up at the end of the Black Mask
Yeah, because he
run
when he had his like bat
cast or whatever. Yeah,
cast, his bat cast, and he was like, I promised Alfred that I would chill out while he's gone.
yeah. You know, Alfred's lamenting that that's not the case, because his friend Waylon Croc has been snatched up. He's like going ham. He's
Hmm. They say
be
he's been missing for 2 weeks.
yeah, you know, Batman's like killing all the goons, not killing all the goons, beating up all the goons. So much so
Yeah,
that they ran out of ambulances, and then they ran out of ride shares, and then there's a guy on a rickshaw who's, you know, cycling past with the implication is that you know, they ran out of ambulances, they ran out of ride shares, and then now the rickshaw guys are like taking beat up goons back, and he's like cursing Batman, and then they show his name tag. You're very excited,
and
Brian. Tell us who's on the name tag.
oh, I think it's awesome. It's Grayson, comma D.
Yeah. Um.
Well, I think it's kind of fun how they just kind of like slide a few things in here and
Mhm,
there
mhm,
that
mhm, mhm.
like if you got the eagle eye, you're like, whoa.
Oh, it's. I
But if you
mean, I don't know if that you need an eagle eye. It's like,
well, I mean, if you're familiar with, I'll say if you're familiar with Batman,
sure, yeah,
like
yeah.
if this is your intro to Batman and you're like, do do do
It's a
do do,
tease.
reading a comic, you have no idea what that
Sure.
is. But if you like on the second read
Yeah.
after whatever story's gone by,
Mhm,
you're like,
mhm,
it
mhm,
was
mhm.
right there.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's a fan service. It's a tease. It's
yeah,
absolutely meant as a wink to everyone who's reading. Yeah.
yeah,
Then we find out that what Batman is trying to do is find his friend Waylon, and the way that we
mm-hmm.
find out about that is we've got is I don't know if she's a detective or if she's just like
Oh, that's a good
an
question.
officer. We've got Officer Gordon. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the daughter of the mayor who's on the PD. We knew this from a previous issue.
Yeah.
Who I don't remember this precisely, but I guess she has taken one of Batman's cowls, and it's in her apartment, and he's I guess he knows that is the case, and so he starts talking to her through the cowl, and he arranges to meet with Gordon, and they are at like at the zoo, which I thought
Mm-hmm.
was an interesting meeting place.
I thought that was too.
Yeah, it's like broken down and there's graffiti and stuff. Um, and he's basically like, "Where's Waylon? Did you figure it out?" And she's like, "Yeah, we were the ones that took him. So the goons that like chloroformed him at the end of the previous issue, I guess that was Gotham PD. Um,
I'm really curious when she says we, if she means Gotham PD or if she means like the government or something more broad than that. Because it could totally be Gotham PD, but they looked, I don't know. And the issue when they took him, they looked more like assassins, I guess. They looked like hitmen. And so it could be that they did their thing and they slid the file in and said it was Gotham PD, or they're part of the government or something. Because I thought that was also really interesting when she said we, but it wasn't like very specific.
apparently us.
Yeah.
I think us is pretty cut and dry, but
Hmm.
maybe not. Um, you know, it's not like we don't have examples of officers, you know, showing up to do their work in plain clothes and
Oh,
masks.
fair enough.
Yeah, that is contemporaneous.
Hmm.
Yeah, not showing badges and all that kind of good stuff. So,
Hmm.
and he's like, took him where, right? And then we cut to Batman is with all of his other friends. So Harvey's there, and Riddler, whose name is escaping me. Edward
Eddie.
is there. Yeah,
Hmm.
Penguin's there.
Oz,
Um,
yeah.
and this time so is Alfred, and you
Hmm.
know, Bruce is in his Batman costume, mask off, and they're all around the table. This is what you were hoping for.
Hmm.
We're
Is this the first time that we've seen them with Alfred?
absolutely yes.
I think so. Yeah.
In fact,
Okay.
they mention as much.
Oh, you're right.
Oswald asks like, "Who's this guy?"
Also, who are you? That's right. You're
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. Oswald's like Arkham, right? Just as if to answer Batman's question of like, where did they take
Hmm.
him? They're like, what the hell? What's going on? Why is that the case? And what are we going to do about it? And together
Hmm.
they craft this plan to go break him out of the Ark. And we get a little bit of context, a little bit of history, I guess. There was a
Hmm.
hospital there, and I guess that's the nod to Arkham Asylum that had
Yeah.
been on the island previously.
Hmm.
We get the idea that this is not actually as contemporary as we thought. Like we think like the arcs being built all around the world is this like new scary phenomenon, but turns out this hospital was torn down in the 30s, and they've like slowly been working on you know the steps necessary to turn it into the arc ever since.
Which
Um,
is an extremely long time. I'm assuming this is
yeah.
the 1930s, not the 2030s. I don't know
Yes, I would assume so as well. I think it's
where
probably
what
present
time
day.
this.
So like
Yeah,
90 years or whatever they've been working on it.
yeah, like a very, very, very long time to be under construction. Which and they said they're, yeah, bringing in construction, digging,
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
and it's like this is quite a production. Like, how deep does it go? How big
Hmm.
is this thing? Like, that was one of my very first thoughts. Is like, that's what are they? Whatever they're building has to be really, really big
Yeah.
if they're taking this much time.
Well, and if you're familiar with Scott Snyder, right, that's sort of the central conceit of the Court of Owls is what if there's something that's old, and elemental that is like underpinning everything. There's something behind the scenes that's pulling the strings.
Hmm.
You know, what does it mean for Batman if it's not a bunch of crazy guys in a mask, but that there's something deeper. There's some sort of like grandmaster,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. And it's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I really enjoy Court of Owls, City of Owls, and I think he's like alluding to something similar here, right? What's going on? And
yeah.
they'll touch on it again here in a few pages.
I have a question. So there's something I haven't seen in comics before,
Sure.
where so down in the right side bottom left panel,
Hmm.
he references the snow, and at the
Yeah.
bottom there's a little caption
Yeah.
thing that says "Go read the
I think that's
legacy."
hilarious. You've never
I've
seen that
never seen
before.
that before.
Oh
No.
my gosh. It's old school. They don't do it as much as they used to, but
Okay.
that is comic books bread and butter.
Hmm.
Um, especially for things that have like complex and convoluted histories where the editor has to hold your hand to be able to understand anything. So if you read any of the X-Men in the 80s, like every other friggin' panel is a like go back and read because the thing is that a lot of times and this was marketing strategy. This was how they would get you to read more books, right?
Right.
They were weaving in and out of each other, right? And so like you'd be reading X-Men, but they're referencing something that happened in X Factor last month. And maybe you didn't buy X Factor, right? So now you got to go to the back issue bin or whatever. You go back to your store and find a copy of X Factor so you can figure out what the hell happened. Or even in Batman. So like what I was just talking to you about at the top of the episode about No Man's Land and
Mm-hmm.
Nightfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would agree ahead of time that like the reason they collected it as an omnibus and it reads kind of like an event is because the books happen chronologically, and it is often the case that a story will weave through them. So like literally, someone is chasing someone in the end of a Catwoman issue and jumps out the
Mm-hmm.
window, and then the villain like rolls into the Robin issue that picks up next week or whatever. And so now you're reading
Oh, like a
Robin
whoa.
and you're
Okay.
following that villain who was on the run, and now Robin's chasing them. And then at the end of that, like that ties into the Batman issue, which ties into the Detective Comics issue, which they're doing that so you buy all the books, right?
Yeah.
is like it'll be the case that it's Robin issue number 98 or whatever, but it's like Nightfall issue number 14, right? And so, okay, I need Nightfall issue number 15, and that's going to be in a different book, right?
Well, it's like the Marvel movies where it's like
Uh-huh.
you don't have to watch all
Or
of them, but you're
it's
not going to understand a lot if you don't.
far more accurate to say that the Marvel movies are like this.
Well, sure. I'm just thinking like there's probably more people that's watched those movies
Sure.
than are reading
Yeah.
comics. But yeah.
So yeah, this is I think it's hilarious that this is the first time you're seeing this. That happens all the time. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like I did see it and I thought I did think it's marketing to get you to go buy a book.
It's marketing, I think,
while also playing like it does play a role to help like connect the dots.
Yeah.
But I also thought like there's no way this is the first time.
Sure. The thing is, like, you have to remember is that. So, how many comics books do you read every month, Brian?
One.
Exactly.
Two this month.
Right. So here's the deal: you are reading Absolute Batman, and the next month you read Absolute Batman, and the next month you read Absolute Batman.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And after you read it, you get on a phone call and you talk about it with your buddy, right? And then you publish it. And maybe you listen to the video call you had about it afterwards, right? Most people read a comic book once, and then they read the other 5 books they picked up that week. And then next week they read a different 5 books, and then next week they read a different 5 books, and then next week, okay, you come back to Absolute Batman, you're like, what the shit was happening? What was going on? And Bruce will say something like, oh, the snow, it marked people, it gathered their genetic dead, and you're like, what? And it'll be like, you didn't miss anything in this issue. Don't flip back to a previous page. Hey, that was last month, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, you didn't skip a beat. That is a thing that wasn't in this book.
That's really good context too, because like when I prep for these, I read them once.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm realizing that like you are the guy you're talking about where you read 5, 6, 7 issues a month.
Most people who do read comic books do that. Like they're reading
so
other
you're
stuff.
juggling these stories.
Yeah.
Because they're not closing. They're just like threads that are hanging open. You
That's
gotta
right.
pick them up.
That is what it means to be a comic book reader. And here's the deal. We are lucky, right, that we're doing Absolute Batman. This isn't tying into anything.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yet.
At some point, almost certainly, there's going to be a crossover, and they're going to expect that you've read Absolute Wonder Woman, or you read the event book, or whatever, to some degree. I think that's the double-edged sword, is that doing something like this, where it's fresh, they draw in a bunch of new readers.
Yeah.
But then now that you have the new readers that have the new expectations. This is a thing that happened with Ultimate Spider-Man as well. It's 150 issues. It's largely self-contained, but at a certain point, they start having it interact with everything else in the Ultimate Universe, and then even things in 616, right? So at some point, you're going to fall off. You're not going to read Absolute Batman every month forever. Sure. And, hopefully that it ends on a high note, but it doesn't always, right? Sometimes these things end with a whimper because it gets convoluted. So,
yeah. I mean, maybe like 10 minutes, or sorry, 10 years into doing the book club, we'll drop Absolute Batman. We'll pick something else up.
I think we'll be lucky to make it 10 years. So like 100 issues is like a historically, that's like a big run on a book. Like that's
okay.
Yeah, you are as a writer at that point, you're on Mount Rushmore for a character, right? So like Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley did Ultimate Spider-Man, I think for 125 issues, and that at the time was the longest any one person writer-artist combo had ever written a book, right?
Ever. Wow.
I'm pretty sure, definitely for Spider-Man, if not overall, right? So if they did 100 issues of Absolute Batman and Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta did all of them, that would be 8 years.
Yeah.
I doubt they make it that long. I bet they make it like 5, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
We're not even done with 1 year yet, so
that's true. All right, so then they have this nice beat.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Where there's a couple of things that are going on this page. So first, they've done this very ominous thing where they've said like maybe he's not coming back. Tensions are high. We know that Bruce is like really, really upset because he just spent 2 weeks just like beating the tar out of like every bad guy in the whole city. So like there's a lot of energy here, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And Oz is like, man, this is crazy. We should just move to sunny Metropolis, because this is just crazy.
Yeah.
And Bruce gets really mad. Like he brings his fist down, he like breaks the table, and he's like, and what? He's like, you guys wanted to be in on Batman. This is Batman.
Yeah.
And Oz, I thought, handled this very well, where he very calmly was like, hey man, I just said it was crazy. I wasn't saying we shouldn't do it.
Yeah. It was a good beat,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, I thought it was like a really mature way to handle like some really intense energy, is to like come and just be calm.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess they're gonna do it. And then it shifts over to no longer Commissioner Gordon, no longer Mayor Gordon, just Gordon.
Ex-Mayor Gordon and Martha.
Ex-Mayor. Yeah, that's actually kind of a question. So like after you are done being the president, you're still president, whoever, like you're President Obama for the rest of his life. This guy was a mayor.
As an honorific, you are
Gordon
not
now,
a
right?
president. They just say.
Oh yeah. By title, by like what do you call that when you refer to someone?
It's called an honorific.
Okay. Got it.
Or a title, yeah. What do you? I don't know. There's a different word you're looking for.
I thought I'm thinking there is some word that is like it is your term of respect. This thing that like a judge is your honor even after they've retired. But I guess honorific is the specific.
There may be another synonym that I don't have in my RAM, but like honorific or title are the two that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Well, I learned the word honorific today, and I'll probably never forget it now.
Sure.
I hope the audience enjoys learning good words with us too. So that's honorific and milieu, I think, are the two that have really stuck with me. But yeah, so Gordon is hanging with Martha Wayne.
Yeah.
And he's like unhappy, and he was like, when I said that this is over, I didn't mean like my life or whatever. I just mean like this thing that I've been doing. And I realized that you've been there backing me up the whole time, and it's time for me to do that for you. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, listen, whatever you want to do, I'm going to back you up. So tell me, what's next for Martha Wayne? And that's the only time they show up in the whole issue, is this one little beat.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because it, again, like you're saying, it's a setup.
Yeah.
But like a setup for what? It doesn't like connect with the rest of the issue. Yeah. Why put it here?
She does say
interesting.
She's not going to run for mayor, so we know it's not that.
Oh, sure.
But yes, you're right. We have no clue. And then we have a flashback to a scene.
Steamy times.
Yeah, where Selena, we don't know it's her. They don't say that until later. But Selena and Bruce are in a bed with cash. It's just money all over it. And they're making out. And Waylon comes in. He knocks and then comes in. He's really excited that he has scored a title fight with Bibbo Bibowski. There was someone else who was going to fight him, and he backed out. And, he's being buds with Bruce and says, hey, will you train with me? And Bruce is like, I'm not a fighter. Why would you train with me? He's like, because you're my best friend. And they're like, going to spar a little bit, right? And then he realizes that there's cash all over the bed. He's like, what the hell's with the money?
It could just be a bed of cash. I mean,
you don't keep that in your house, or you do keep that in your house? That's a normal thing for you?
It's like what's that TV show that was so big?
You're asking the wrong person.
Oh man, Breaking Bad. It's like Breaking Bad where they have like
there's the gift,
this huge.
Yeah.
They're
laying back on the money.
I did think this was funny too, because he's saying like, "Are you Team Croc? I'm Team Croc."
Yeah,
and then he's like, "All right, chomp chomp, like that's their saying because their team croc is
It's a
chomp
little
chomp.
silly, yeah.
Yeah, but like it sounds to me like it's a thing that they say, not a thing he just said.
Yeah. This is an interesting beat. We don't come back to this. It's very similar to the previous one where we have the beat with
Yeah.
with Gordon and Martha of like they're clearly setting up a thread that we're gonna pull for the rest of this arc, right? But they're not going
Mm-hmm.
anywhere with it. It's just asking the
Right.
question of like, okay, we know from our experience with Catwoman and Selena in other continuities, she's a burglar, right? So she steals money. Bruce seems to be okay with whatever's happening here. Is he in on that? Right?
Yes.
This is the
Yes.
question that they pose to us and are not going to answer for a month.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think they did. This is like a really interesting scene because
Yeah.
like it drops some really interesting little things, and they're not the main thing that they're trying to tell us about. Like first,
Hmm.
this is the first we've seen adult Selena,
Hmm.
I think.
Yes, correct.
Um, we also see that they have a relationship.
Yep.
That's new news.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
they've like implied in like a joking manner before that they're like
mhm.
interested or that they, but
I think
now
that was
like
when they were kids, though.
yeah, I think when they were like playing poker, maybe they
Oh, okay.
alluded to some things, but like in a way that are like, like have they dated or not? And like clearly the answer is yes. And so like were they on again, off again? Why is it funny?
Mhm.
Why is that something they're joking
Mhm.
about? Like we still, it's
Mhm.
like Facebook, it's complicated, right? Like we don't have
Oh,
answers
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
like what's going on here.
Good
Um,
reference.
yeah.
And then it drops on us. Best friend. I don't think we've heard. I might be misremembering, but I haven't heard them refer to each other as best friends.
What, Waylon and Bruce?
Waylon and Bruce,
Yeah.
which helps to contextualize like why Bruce is so intensely
Hmm.
trying to find
Hmm.
him. Which does kind of like beg a question of like if one of the other guys had been kidnapped, would he be as intensely seeking after them, or would he just be like seeking after them pretty intensely, but not as intensely? It's just
Hmm.
makes me wonder.
They cut to current time, and Bruce is getting ready to do this crazy like breakout that they're talking about, the one
Mm-hmm.
that Penguin said was so nuts. So they're gonna go in from underneath the ark, I guess, on the island through a bunch of old pipes that have been there for like hundreds
Mm-hmm.
of years. They found plans for those things. We get this moment where Alfred is thinking about saying something. He's like, hey, listen, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce kind of brushes him off. Batman says, like, I need to go. And he's like, oh, you're right. Nothing. Good luck. And then we get this internal monologue where Alfred laments that he didn't say anything. He didn't take his chance to talk to him, right?
Yeah.
And basically says, like, hey, you're getting ready to learn something really awful, and I should have prepped you for it. Which is, again, interesting. Like, the similar to before where we're like, okay, you and I were just talking about they tore down the hospital in the 30s and they've been working on it ever since. So there's this thing that's working in the background 90 years. There's like is the government in on this? Is there some sort of like secret, is this an Illuminati, Court of Owls
Mm-hmm.
situation?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alfred implies that like you're going to learn some things that you're not going to like, right? And presumably about Gotham or about, the powers that be. Alfred knows. He's lamenting that Batman doesn't know, in a way talking to us because we don't know. We haven't found out yet, right?
Yeah.
He cuts into a pipe with a torch and says, like, I'm almost here, right? And Alfred's like, no, that's not possible. You couldn't, he's in his ear and says, you couldn't possibly be almost there. You're way too deep still.
Well, it's the not the Bat submarine,
Yes,
but the Batmobile
it is.
shows up again, and I think that's kind of a fun reveal.
Yeah.
Is they're up there talking, and
Mhm.
then boom, they
Oh,
was
they were
underwater the whole
inside
time.
yes, I didn't
Yeah.
honestly hadn't even really put that together. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's nice that they're reusing when the first time that shows up, right? It's a gigantic, like, earth mover, and then it goes
Yeah.
under the water. Oh, apparently it's a submarine. And that feels a little
Yeah.
bit of throwaway. It's like, okay, what a gimmick. That's a one and done. And then it's
Yeah.
like, no, it turns out it's really useful for Batman to have an earth mover that's also a submarine.
Yeah.
We're gonna milk that cow.
Yeah. It's a movable, I don't know, like base.
Yeah. And so this is obviously meant to be a big reveal, right? So the Alfred saying like, "Oh, you're still 100 meters beneath,"
Mm-hmm.
and Bruce is saying, "Oh, what's going on?" And he says it's the real Arkham, right? And they're doing it right before a page turn. So this is supposed to be a big
Yeah.
a big reveal, and we get this large splash, which has really fantastic art of Batman.
Mm.
I love the way he looks and the cape
Oh
looks, and it's a
yeah.
cool pose. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you. Whatever he's looking at that's supposed to be like a big reveal is not working for me.
I think it's supposed to be somewhat obfuscated, maybe like where there's a lot, but
Yeah.
it's still hidden from us.
Yeah. Yes, I think the implication is there's a lot. It's just like a
Mm-hmm.
whole city down here of something, right? There's lights
Yeah.
and like streets and stuff. Maybe I don't know. It is
Yeah.
too vague for me. It is too abstract for
Yeah,
me. This is
I agree.
the problem you were having with the abomination on the big first page splash. Didn't rub me as much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having what you're describing on this. It's unfortunate.
I mean, I'll be honest, like when I read this,
Yeah.
I like got my eyes really close, like I moved the light and I was like,
Ooh, what am I looking
is
at?
there a glare? Like, is there something
No.
where I'm not seeing this right? Because yeah, it is incomprehensible.
Yeah.
I mean, I also thought like Tron, like
yeah. But there's like mountains. There's bluff.
yeah,
Is that stone?
it's cave, I
Is there a
think.
roof? He's on top of a
Yeah.
pipe. I don't know.
I don't
We
know.
should move on. I don't want to spend all this time bagging on Dragotta because I think he does so much well. There's so much in this page that works. The pose where he's on top and he's looking out and he's got it's so cool. He looks
Yeah.
badass.
Mm-hmm.
The city is rough, man.
Yeah.
And it's a storytelling moment that is supposed to be a big beat.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a mess for me. That's unfortunate.
No, yeah, I agree. And I like, I don't know. I am gonna, this will be a head scratcher. I'm gonna think about this one for a while because like
Yeah.
there's something they've been so intentional with everything.
Yeah.
And like even just like the art style where like Batman is clear, he's crisp.
Yeah.
And the stuff in the background is like sketchy. It's like blurry. Like it's really hard to read. It's not an accident, but I don't understand it yet.
I would like to think that you're right and that it's more mystery box, right?
Yeah.
And they're introducing more questions for us to ask. It's like, oh, it's a lot of what? Let's find out in a future issue.
Yeah.
The cynic in me says like he ran out of time, and this is like, yeah, but we'll see.
It's very practical.
Yeah.
Very practical thing in the world, not in the universe, but in the world.
Sure. Well, it happens a lot, right? Like, and again, I don't want to have a prolonged conversation because it's going to make it sound like I don't like Dragotta, and I do. He's great. And I I don't want anyone to take this out of context and to think that like I'm bagging so hard, but like he has taken multiple breaks at this point, right? Like we've had the 2-issue freeze arc, and we had the year 1, and I believe it's to give him more time, right? And so, anyway, moving on.
This page is a pretty important page.
Yeah.
Because it continues to reveal stuff without like actually telling us anything. Because it's like Batman is just like, whoa, what is this? This is crazy. And Alfred is just kind of like describing what emotions Batman must be going through. And he says like that's what happens. Because I've been in this place. I've been in a arc in like England or something. And this is where bad things happen to people that they change, and and earlier in the issue, they referenced that like, it's not just a prison, like maybe they do some terrible things, which kind of implies experiments.
Right.
And then there's this shot here of like, obviously Bane or something Bane-like when they're normal, like person size.
I think this is pre-Venom Bane, right? Like he looks like a in shape dude, but not like a super jacked luchador, right? It's just a dude. And he's hooked up to the tubes.
But it also like the way that they've written this kind of implies that like maybe Bane was Alfred's friend. Maybe.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. We see him standing next to a dude with an eye patch and like, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that, but you're right.
And it's right after he says like to see your brothers become strangers.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of curious, like if they're dropping something there or if they're just like leading.
No, I think you're right. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I think it's implied here that Alfred has a history with Bane. Here's another beat I don't really understand.
Yeah.
More cryogenics, I think. Like we're looking at.
Oh, I didn't think cryogenics.
Maybe,
okay.
but it's a bone, so it looks like a fossil. Somehow Batman's in a hallway and it's super dark, but it's lit up. He's looking at windows, and then there's a bat fossil for some reason.
right here is the
Yeah.
moment where I went, oh, Arc M, this whole Arc concept is
Yeah.
going to allow for everything.
Mm.
Because we've talked about like can magic exist, like what kind of science,
Mhm,
stuff like
mhm.
that. And it's like, oh, this is Man Bat. Like they have just opened the
Maybe.
door for
Sure.
like anything in Absolute Batman to be okay because it's through some kind of arc
So you're
experimentation.
you're saying like in X-Men, the yada 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 is they're mutants, right?
Mm-hmm.
In I don't know why my mind goes there, but I go to the Inhumans. In the Inhumans, the like yada 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 is the Terrigenesis event, right? There are other examples of this where there's like
Mm-hmm.
some sort of inciting incident or some sort of like reason that like there could be supernatural, there can be magic, and the answer is that like, well, in the arc they do all kinds of like experimentation, in like sort of scientific uh sci-fi ways that can produce these like monsters or these
Yeah.
supernatural. Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe.
And like the dude's Croc,
Yeah,
he got kidnapped.
and they
Like
definitely implied at the end of last issue that he
and
might
so
get
like
turned
that's where
into.
my head is going, is
Sure,
like
sure,
we're
sure,
gonna
sure.
see them transforming people.
Yeah, 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 maybe all of his friends are gonna get turned into villains by uh
The arc.
experiencing the horrors of
Yeah.
the arc. Yeah, that's a good
Mm-hmm.
call.
But also it could be because it was the zoo,
Sure.
right? It was all the zoo,
Hmm.
and I like made that comment about how they're all like kind of animal things,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
now this is the Ark, like Noah's Ark, which is
Sure.
all animals,
Yeah.
and then like now we're seeing this stuff. There might be a thread there. I might be completely off, but
Yeah.
it does make the mind move a little bit.
And that would be a very Scott Snyder sort of thing. He definitely likes to try to be a little clever.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're doing exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
He's introducing more questions than answers, and he wants us to
Mm-hmm.
think what's happening, what's going on, why is it happening.
Keep
Um,
buying. Keep buying.
yeah, and so as Batman is looking at this bat thing,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Bum bum
says to
bum.
Pennyworth, "Hey, are you there?" And before
Yeah.
he can get an answer, Bane shows up and starts effing him up. It's kind of it's a little silly, this whole action sequence where
Yeah.
but I appreciate it all the same. Batman's coming in at him with different styles. So with his left hand he's doing Muay Thai. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to pronounce that. And then with his
Yeah.
right hand he's doing Sun Tukan Smart. No, Sun Tukan
Oh, Sun
Smart.
Tukan.
Yes.
Smart.
Yes.
Yes.
And then with his leg he's kicking, he's doing Savate, right? So there's all these
Uh-huh.
different martial arts, right? And Bane knows it all. He calls it
Yeah.
out by name, and he's doing like, I don't know what these are, Vulcan moves or like pressure point.
Pressure point stuff. Yeah.
He's going "Toop," with two fingers, "Toop," with one finger, and
Yeah.
like disabling his arms. It's a little stupid. We've got Batman. It's kind of like in a in a crumple without any of his limbs.
Yeah.
Um,
It does seem like very like classic first run in with Bane,
mhm,
that like Bane is more skilled. Like he's done enough fighting or whatever
mhm,
that he knows how to be defensive. He keeps his cool mind.
mhm,
And so while Batman's coming in hot, Bane is cool as a cucumber, and he's just like he dodges, like pushes the button that
mhm,
like turns off an arm,
mhm.
pushes another button, turns off an arm, and he's like systematically removing all of his limbs by numbing them out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Batman keeps talking a game, so he's got none of his limbs left, and he's like, "Come on, is that all you got? I only need one leg to jack you up." And then he says something about the venom. He's like, you know,
He's like, you juiced up. Like he's
yeah.
gonna make fun of it or
And
call him a name.
Bane has this sort of like very comic book moment of like, "Oh, I was using my left hand the whole time."
Yeah. Good call. Yeah.
You thought I was using the venom, I wasn't. And then he turns it on, and I don't know. We have like some more grotesque abomination stuff.
I would say Batman's eyes tell a story though, where he looks kind of, I don't know, humbled.
Yeah, a little
Or
defeated, a little
yeah, like oh
well,
my
shit.
god. Yeah.
And as he kind of turns into this abomination, he says, "What are you?" And he says,
Yeah.
"Call me Bane."
And now he's even bigger. Like not just like
Brian, he
he's
says,
like
sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
He says, now let's get you prepped for surgery. So you're right. They're going to turn him into an experiment. Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time.
And I think it's this goes back to what we were saying in the last issue.
Yeah.
Is that they were setting up getting him.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that's why they took out matches, right? And like right at the right time, and he had his run in with Freeze and yada yada. So
that would imply that they know he's Bruce. Because he was having his meeting with Matches as Bruce, but yeah, maybe.
But I think that there is some like interesting, again, like more of the like letting your mind wander with like what could possibly be.
Yeah.
But it's like if the Arc system is like the big thing, and there is that like dude who's made out of babies, who is like the big boss, like it's pretty early to introduce that stuff. And so it does kind of make you wonder, like, are we gonna get, I don't know, 15 issues in or whatever, and then they're like, actually, there's something deeper than that.
Sure.
There's something even in control of, and there's the arcs, but there's also the tugboats. I don't know what you would call it. I'm trying to go boat references.
Sure.
And the web is even broader.
Yeah.
And yes, we know everything. That's why we know you're Batman, because we surveil everyone all the time. In fact, your mom's in on it. She's on our side. Like, it just makes you wonder, like, where are they going to head with some of these shockers?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Scott Snyder has you right where he wants you, Brian. Your mind is just flowing with like, maybe this is gonna happen, maybe that's gonna happen. You have all these theories. I'm in on it too. I'm having a good time. I'm still all in on all in. That's the DC initiative. Anyway, I'm all in on Absolute Batman. I'm having fun. We'll see where it goes.
I dig it.
Hey, Bat Fam, hope you like the show. If you do, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Stickers. We got stickers. It's a great way to support the show. Just $5. Link in the description and on batlessons.com. To keep the Batman history train going, watch this video next.